Okay. In last class, actually, we learned about how to how to create a repository, and how to push it from local repository to remote repository, and we learned how to commit, how to push, how to pull, all these things, in the last class, right? Using Git commands. Okay. So there are a lot of commands that we have used, just yeah, these are the mostly, we commands which we used in the last class. Okay. So for first commit, second commit, and we have, and also we saw about how to build, and how to, push the jar file to, the Maven repository. Yeah, that was also done by in the GitHub, right? So yeah, what we are going to see now today, it is GitLab. Okay. So what is actually, GitLab provides, more than GitHub, right? Yeah, there are a couple of things, okay, that we need to know when we come to the GitLab. Okay. So the first one is, GitLab clearly provides a second, let me log in there. Yeah. Okay. So if you guys see here, I'm just opening one of the project. Okay. Say first project. Okay. And you see there are a lot of menus that you see at the left side. Okay. So one of the major thing that GitLab provides is CI/CD. Okay. What is CI/CD is, the continuous integration and continuous deployment, or continuous delivery. Okay. So what that means, like, whenever you do a code, okay, you don't require to worry about integrating that, with the existing one, and you don't require to worry about, the deployment process, okay, or the delivery process, like, to getting that change into production. So these should be automated, right? So in the GitLab, actually, we have plenty of options, to automate the CI/CD, okay, with a number of multiple options. Okay, I'm not going to go very much deeper, but I'll tell you how to create a pipeline and how it will works, and how actually, you can verify the logs, and where you can see the artifacts, or where you can find, if you are creating an artifact in the in the CI/CD process. Yeah, where you can download that artifact, all those things I'm gonna tell you uh, today. Okay. Okay, for this, actually, there are a couple of things that we need to check. Okay, what exactly this pipeline is, right? First we need to understand what is the pipeline is. The pipeline, you can take an example of a car manufacturing company. Okay. So uh, when there are certain stages, right? You cannot directly, you know get the wheels of car, and you cannot directly add it, right, to the car body, right? So there is a process that they will get the car chassis first, and they will attach the engine next, and once the engine and chassis attached, they will they will add the tires, okay, to the body, whatever they have built it, right? So there is some process that we are doing to deliver a final project or product, correct? So for the final product, what we are getting, it is a car. Okay, so to get that final product, actually there are several steps that we are following it, right? So similarly, in whenever you are going to deploy, or whenever you are going to get a project, or a jar file, a war file, or anything else, okay, that output, it should come from the CI/CD process. Okay, the pipeline will help you to create those steps. Okay, let's say, let us consider you are going to create a file, okay, in the build. Okay, and once you created that file, you are going to, run a test on that file. Okay, once a test is done, and you are going to deploy that file into some server. Okay, these are the three steps that we do. Okay, so all these three steps can be, these three steps can be achieved using pipeline. Okay, so I'll that's what, and I'm not going very much deeper, because even I need to have some virtual machines that I need to run, for the deployments. So what I've done, I'll create one pipeline, okay, for you, and in that one pipeline, I'm just trying to create a couple of folders and files, and under that file, I'm going to search for one of the string, okay, which it can help. Yeah, which can create a couple of pipeline, like one pipeline and two jobs in it, to run. Okay, so let me go and create one new project. Okay, so how do you create a repository? So I already have a project over here. I created it, and today I'm gonna create a okay, car project. Okay, so yeah, for now, I told you, like, project deployment target. Okay, so you can use the existing templates. We already have it. Okay, Kubernetes, where exactly you wanted to deploy this. Okay, so depending on that, yeah, depending on that, actually, it is going to, add some additional files when you are creating this repository. Okay, so for now I'm not going to use anything. Okay, I'm just keeping it as same, and make sure you use it as private. Okay, and uh, it will be accessed and only for your group. Okay, yeah, so this is okay. You can just static application security testing. Yeah, so this will enable whenever you write some code, or whenever you write some Java related code. Okay, so if that code is creating any vulnerabilities, so this is going to enable that, sorry, this scan will be helping you to find out whether do you have any bugs or not, okay, in that code. Okay, security related issues. Okay, for now I'm not going to use any SaaS related things, but yeah, it is just only the plain file that I'm going to work, and I'll show you, like, how the pipeline will be created in the GitLab. Okay, so yeah, let me create a project. Okay, so this is our project. Okay, and hope you can, okay, if you wanted to practice, actually this is uh, you can just get sign up into the GitLab. Okay, and it is free, and it is, they're also having the paid version as well. Yeah, it's like, per month, I think, they're gonna charge $19 or something. Okay, for paid version, but for, I know, the version which we are using, like, it's a normal version only, like, it has very, yeah, it has very good benefits, but if you need more things, or more kind of hours, to execute these pipelines, to deployments, and if you wanted to practice more, yeah, then go for the premium version. Otherwise, you are okay to have the general version, which is it is for all the users. Okay, you can use it. Okay, yeah, let me go to the project. Okay. Okay, I'm just creating a similar kind of file. Okay, so if you see here, the car repository has been created. Okay, and you know, yeah, it gave some default details. Okay, so how do you add this zip remote repo in your to the local repo, and then yeah. So those things that I think we already discussed these things earlier using GitHub. Okay, but this is GitLab. Okay, anything is fine. Okay, so let me go to one more thing, and before going that, actually you can also pull all the GitHub related repositories to GitLab. Okay, so I'll show you how to pull that. Okay, once we complete this one. Okay, right now I'm just adding a new file. Okay, the new file name is something, yeah, this one, and it is asking us to create a template, right? Okay, so I'm not taking any template right now. Okay, so it is just like it is going to give you some like whatever the suggestions to write to complete this YAML file. Okay, but my intention was like it's only to introduce this and how the pipeline will work, and I'll show you the jobs. Okay, and yeah, that's all. I think all the other things we have it in GitHub, like merge and all those things, and commit and everything. I have shown you in the previous classes, where you can see commits, where you can see pull requests and all. Okay, for your repository. Similarly, it have all those things in the GitLab as well. Okay, yeah. So let me come to the YAML file. So what we are going to do, okay, so we are building a car. Okay, so for that, actually we need to build a car, right? Okay, so what we need to do first, we need to begin with, just a second, sorry. Just a second, 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay. What we are going to do, build a car, right? And yeah, for this, actually we have to start writing with a script. Okay, so what kind of script that you wanted to execute? Okay, in the using the YAML file. So how do we write it? Actually, this is the syntax. If you want to execute a script, okay, so you need to tell that what kind of script that you are going to execute. So the first step, I think we were trying to build a car, right? So in that, oh sorry, yeah, Yeah, build a car. So in that, what I'm trying to do, first I'm creating a directory. So consider it as a build directory. And next step, I'm I'm doing a CD, and so that I can go into that build directory. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just asking to create a file called car.txt, okay, using touch. So the next one, and I need to push some data into it. So one is, so using echo chassis, and to the file car.txt, and go engine car.txt, and echo. What is the last one that we discussed? Wheels, right? Wheels into car.txt. So what we are trying to do here, actually we were trying to yeah, just a second. Yeah, what we're trying to do, we actually trying to build a car, okay? Build a car with chassis, engine, and wheels, okay? The final product, what we are going to get it is a car. So this is our first step, build a car, right? Script. So it is doing something, correct? Okay, when it is coming to the YAML file, so it is doing something. So what we are going to do, I'm just yeah, just a minute. Initial commit. Okay, and yeah, I'm just committing the changes. Okay, once we commit immediately, actually, you see there's the GitLab CI configuration is valid. So it is going to verify, check the commands, okay, whatever you have written. Okay, if you see some error, actually, it is going to give you that, right here only. Okay, so let me go to the CI/CD pipeline, and if you see here, there is already a job which is running. Okay, so let me click on this running job. So there is a job which is running. It is build a car, right? So if you see here, there are certain steps that we created, okay, and all those steps has been executed, and now it is successful, right? You guys can see, right? Okay, so the steps what we have done, it is very simple. Okay, so we were just trying to ask like create a build directory, and in the build directory we are creating a car.txt as a file. Into that car.txt, actually you are adding some, you are you are you are you are generating a final product called car.txt, okay, with all these things: chassis, engine, and wheels. So finally, when you go and check the car.txt, it will be having all these three as a final product, okay, including these three with the final product of car.txt, right? So car.txt is our final product. So this is our build, okay, build step. We have built one file, to perform something. So what will be the next step? When you build something, you generally do a testing, right? So let us test this car.txt, with using YAML file. Okay, let's go back, to the project car, and this is the file what we are using. Okay, now, so how to test it, right? So we have to create one more kind of job which can act as same thing, like build a car, or test a car, something like that. Okay, so let us see how to add it. I'm just adding test the car with same way. Okay, whatever you have done in the when you are doing a build a car, do the same thing. Just add a script. Okay, and what you need to do, you need to change the current directory to build, and under the build you have car.txt, and so whether we need to check whether the file exists or not first, to perform the test, right? So for that, I'm going to use test -f, whether the file is there in under the build folder /car.txt, right? So I'm just checking whether the file is available or not in the build folder, right? And depending on this, when the file is available, we are going to run some commands on the file, okay, to test it. If it is there, what I'm doing, I'm going to cd build, and okay, there is a command called grep. Okay, so where you can search certain strings on a file. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm doing grep, you know okay, sorry, the file name dot txt. Okay, uh, what I'm doing now, I'm just copy pasting this. I just wanted to search all three engine, and we, okay, yeah, okay. Now you see there are two things, right? In the script, one is build a car, and the another one is test the car, right? So we don't know, like, actually, whenever these kind of two different jobs are there in one YAML file, actually we have to maintain an order, okay, to make sure that it did not fail, like the other job will not fail, okay, if we have any dependencies or something, right? So for that, actually, to maintain the order, okay, we use a command called, like, we use something like stages. Okay, so what is a stages? Okay, I'll show you what exactly stages is. So write stages and just give some names. Okay, one is, the first step is build stage, and second one is the test stage, right? So what is the build stage? What is the test stage? We have to give that, right? So first one is stage. Just use the stage, and the build one. Okay. And similarly, you use the stage command, okay, for test. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. You can either put it in this way, or the same way, like whatever we have done. Yeah. Stage. Or test. Okay. So you have a test the car and you divided that into multiple jobs. Okay. And also we have now stages that it can show you different kind of stages on the screen whenever it is going on the pipeline. Okay, this is the first stage is build and the second stage is test. Okay, and third stage, you can do it something deploy and all, right? Okay, so let me go ahead and just run this. Oh, sorry, first commit this one so that it can run. Okay, adding different stages to execute the final product test. Okay, so just adding commit. Okay, commit changes and commit message. Once I commit these changes, actually if you see here, I'm going back to CI/CD pipelines. Okay, yeah, it is already started this, one of the job. Okay, but if you see something different here, you see there is one file, one job earlier, but whenever we committed the initial one, but now you see two different stages. What are they? Let's see. Okay, so the first one is build a car and second one is test the car, right? So the build a car is still running. Okay, let's see once it is completed and how the test the car will run. Okay, and once it is done, I'll show you what exactly the job logs and where you can find out the Artifactory details and where you can download those created files and folders. I'll show you. Okay, so let's see. Now the build a car is successful. Okay, and the test the car is running. So let's see whether if it is passed or does it have some issues or something. Okay. Yeah. So if you see there, it is failed. Okay. Let's see why it is failed. We'll just check in the logs. Okay. Okay. So here when you see it is failed at using an exit code 1, right? Okay. So what is this command that we written? Actually, we have written this command, to find out whether the car.txt was created under the build folder or not, right? So we have created it, right? In the using the build command, we already created that. But it seems, the file itself is not there. That's why it is, that's why it is failed. Okay, with saying that the same command. So why this is happening, right? So let us consider, actually, we have we have two things, right, in the jobs. One is the job one that you treat as, okay, one second, let me go to the pipeline. I'll show you. Okay, so one is like, the build side, it is passed, and the other one is test side, it is failed, right? So there are two different jobs. Okay, it is there in the one file, but there are two different jobs actually whenever you create in the YAML. Okay, so these two different jobs will not have any, connection between them. Okay, to share one of the one of the files, sorry, one of the job output, to the next job. So there is no relationship between those two jobs, right? So how do we, like, right now, what in the build side, we have creating a text file, and that text file we are using in the test, to test it, right? So for this, actually to achieve this one, what you need to do, to complete this, we have to make sure that once we created a build file, we have to use that build file, in the next job, right? So for this purpose, actually you have to store it at some place, which is a temporary purpose or in a permanent purpose. Yes, we call it as artifactory, right? So those artifactory, how you need to store it, right? What kind of uh, command that you need to use it in the YAML file. Yeah, I'll show you that first. Where is the car? Okay, here. Yeah, let me go to the YAML. One second. Yeah, okay. Just YAML. So what we are going to do, we are going to add an artifacts, right? So let me tell you what where to add the artifacts. Okay, so here artifacts colon you are just adding path. So where this path, okay, to get the artifact, right? And just close it and just give the build folder name, right? So this is how you create an artifact. Okay, and for this actually you need to so this what it does actually whenever it created a build folder, okay, under this it might be whatever the operations that you're doing, but it will take that build folder as an artifact, and it will keep that one to available for the next job. Okay, right? So let's see whether this will really help us to complete the test job, or do we need to do something else? Okay, let's see. Okay, so added artifacts. Yeah, I'm committing the changes. Yeah, right now whenever you commit it, okay, so it says something. Okay, the GitLab CI configuration is invalid, right? Car colon artifacts config contains unknown keys or path. Okay, yeah, there is one thing missing. Okay, yeah, I think it should be the folder structure. Yeah, build. So under that, we have car.txt. Okay, yeah, just a minute. Artifact updated. Okay, let me commit the change now. Really? What is the issue? Okay, sorry. Yeah, one second. One is edit. Okay, paths. Okay, artifacts and paths. Okay, and under the path, actually, it is a build folder. Okay, updated artifact path commit message. Yeah, now it is successful, right? CI configuration is valid. Immediately, if you see here, the pipeline is started running, right? So just click on this pipeline, okay, and it will take you to this one. So let's see now whether the test the car will pass or not. Okay, so we added uh, the artifact, to get utilized in the test job. Okay, and let's see how it goes. Okay, build the car is successful. Now we are having test the car. Yeah, come on. Yeah, it again failed. Let's see why it is failed. Okay, if you see here, last time actually when it was failed, it was not able to find the file, but this time it was able to find the file, but it says that it failed it here, grep command. So grep, what it does actually, it's just search this chassis in the car.txt file, and if it is not there, then it is going to throw an error, right? So something wrong with the car.txt, right? So let's see, let's go back and just check the file. If you remember, I just changed it. Car and YAML file. Yeah. So echo. Okay, let's see this one. Yeah. To give more details, when you're doing these kind of changes, actually you can add something. Okay, something like some commands which can give you what exactly it was there in that file, or you can just add more details, like listing out all the uh, directories under that folder. Okay, and you can also use the cat command to just check whether we have some data in the car.txt before doing that. Yeah, yeah, so this will help you in the log to find out whether we have the car.txt and whether it is having some data or not. So let's see now. Okay, updated the build job with proper text. Okay, let me build the job, build the car, test the car. Okay, just saving it, and I'm committing the changes. Okay, it's committed, and the you go to the pipelines. Yeah, you see here again the two jobs are running now. Okay, and Okay, meanwhile it runs, actually I wanted to show you something. Okay, the previous jobs, where exactly it failed. Okay, but still, one of the job is successful, right? So one of the job is successful, that means, like, we might have the what do we say, we might have the file which is already created, right? The build folder and also the car.txt, right? We were using artifactory and all, correct? So how actually how you can download them, right? If you see here, the job is running here, and also if you see here, there it is having download artifacts, right? Okay, so now in the download artifacts, actually you see build the car. It has some archive file, to download. Let me click on it. Okay. Yeah, if you see here, it downloaded one of the artifact from the build job, right? So let me download that and I'll show you what exactly it is having. Okay. So artifacts, and in the build, I have car.txt. So this is what we are expecting, right? In this, you see whatever you have it, chassis, engine, and wheels, right? So it created the first job output, and it already added as an artifact, so that it is available for the next job, to download it, right? So let's see. Now the test has been passed, right? So let's go inside and check what was the output in the test the car, right? So let's see. So in the test the car, so we have couple of things. First, we verified whether the file is created or not. It is created, and once it is created, actually, we ran the cd command. So before that, actually, we have ls. Okay, so what ls did, it just displayed, all the current files in the current directory. Okay, all the files in the current directory. Okay, so build and read.md was the two things that it has in the current directory. And in the build, actually, we were trying to search whether we have car.txt or not. Yes, so it is there. Then, it went to the next command, cd build, and it changed the you know changed the current folder to build. Okay, and I ran, the cat command, to just verify whether we have all the text exist in the car.txt file or not. Okay, so it printed complete file text, right? Everything into the console, right? And also then I'm searching for one of the couple of strings, okay, in the car.txt. So this is, our test, right? Chassis, whether we are checking whether chassis is there. Yes, it is there. And engine is there. Yes, it is there. And wheels is there. Yes, it is there. So all the commands, whatever we have written, it was successful. That means, the job is succeeded. Okay. So anything fails in this thing, okay, it is going to fail the entire test case. Okay. And the job will fail. Okay. So similarly, there are this I have given only two things, like, one is building a job and one is testing it. Okay. So there are a few things that we need to configure for deploy. So if you have any what do you say, any Docker, or which is running, so we can deploy these things into the Docker, and we can give that URL directly to the LOB, like, your customer or something, and they can access that. Okay, but I don't have any Kubernetes, sorry, I don't have any Docker account ready right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'll just stop here. I know how to till now, like what we learned, actually we are just building that and we're testing it. What about the deployment? Yeah, deployment, I need to link up this GitLab either with one of our Docker. Okay, so I'm not going to show you that one, but I'll show you how to deploy into the Docker later. through manually, like from our local, from your personal computer, or from any from your office, how you can deploy it, your sample project to Dockers. I'm going to show you later. Okay. So, but the link between the GitLab, okay, and the Docker, I will cover it when I was covering in the Docker side. Okay. So, like, creating, whenever I'm creating a pipeline, these two stages has been already done. The deployment stage, I'll add it, and I'll show you where exactly this deployment will happen in the Docker. Okay. So how it does, those steps I'm going to tell later. Okay. Yeah. For now, actually, you can just explore these options and creating some sample YAML files, and it is a very basic YAML file. I just wanted to show you something like how we build it and how we test it using those commands. Okay. And if you remember something, like in the GitHub, we also added a YAML file, to build one of the file, right? To build a jar file, and that jar file is, posted into Maven repositories, right? So that, you can utilize that jar file later whenever you want. Similarly, you can do the same thing using GitLab. Okay. And this is a continuous integration process. Okay. So you can, divide them into multiple jobs, and, you can deploy that jar file how many times you want. Okay. So those things, it's a continuous integration and continuous deployment, right? So continuous delivery. Okay. So hope you guys are okay with this, and you understood about how we create the pipelines, and how we need to check the jobs, and also where we can download the artifacts, and how do you create a repository in GitLab. Okay. After creating the GitLab, sorry, repo in the GitLab, so how to configure these pipelines and all. So there are so many things that you can have it, okay, over here. Okay. So if you see the infrastructure Kubernetes clusters, okay, so all these things uh, will help us when we are yeah, when we are connecting to a cluster, and if you want to deploy something, if you want to run some pipelines, you can still use these clusters. Okay. So for now, I'll show you something. Okay. If you go to the settings, okay, settings, and in the settings, actually we have okay, I'll show you one. Okay, so how these jobs are running, right? When you create a pipeline and all. Okay, so in the pipeline, when you see whenever the test is passed, okay. So let me go to the job log once. Okay, I'll show you one small things, and we can end. Okay, so if you see here, GitLab is having certain runners. Okay, so these are the runner which is helping us, to run these jobs and all. Okay, so where exactly it is there? It is there in the Docker machine. Okay, so there is an executor. Okay, so with the help of some image, okay, Ruby image, and these things, these images are helping us to run these jobs. Okay, and they are creating that environment on ad hoc, ad hoc request. Okay, based upon your request, actually they are creating some certain runners, and they're utilizing them to execute your script. Okay, so where do you see these runners, right? You can go to these settings, uh, repository package. One second. Okay, one second. So I think it should be in the general. Really, it's not there in the general. Yeah, CI/CD. Okay, so if you see here the CI/CD, and you see the runners. Okay, so whenever you see a runner, actually there are some active runners that GitHub is going to give you. Okay, sorry, GitLab. Okay, these runners are available to all groups and projects. Okay, each CI/CD job runs on a separate, isolated virtual machine. How this is possible? This is possible because of the Dockers. And if you see those job logs, okay, and actually, it is running on different runners. Okay, see available shared runners, it is 50. Okay, and you see there are some of them are available and some of them are not, because whenever it requires, actually it pulls. Okay, to run that, but it is very small things that we are running right now, so that's why most of them are idle. Okay, and some of them are still in green, that we can utilize those runners. Okay, shared across projects in this group runners can be merged with the runner API. And also there is one more option GitLab provides. Okay, so these runners actually provided by GitLab. Okay, if you really want a runner from your Kubernetes, sorry, your environment, right? Okay, so GitLab will allow to configure those runners. Okay, and you can make it those runners only applicable for your projects. Okay, yeah, these are all shared runners. Okay, and this can be whenever it is not utilized, actually this can be run, this can be used by other other GitLab users. Okay, but these are okay, one second. Yeah, so these are all like these are all the shared runners that will help you to run those jobs. Okay, and yeah, that's all from the runner's perspective. Okay, so I'll go back to the repository. Okay, as I mentioned, okay, so there are the same way. Okay, these things, like whatever you see in the GitHub, you can also see the similar kind of repository setup over here, and you can do all the code commit, merge, and you can create a pull request, and you can create multiple branches, and similar things that you are doing in the GitHub, you can also do the same thing over here. And also additionally, you can create a pipelines, and you can create the artifacts, and these artifacts can be deployed into the respective servers which you are using. So for the deployments, actually we were using and okay, let me go to the deployment. So we don't have anything now, so what we need to do, we need to create a new environment. So which environment and what is the URL of it, then once we save it, so let me say like dev, and you are going to give some server name. Okay, HTTP using external URL. Okay, so once you define this here, and you can update in the ci.yaml, okay, for the deployments. Okay, so this is how I'm going to show you once we cover the Docker concept later. I'm going to show you, I'm going to deploy it to the dev server using this GitLab. Okay, yeah, for today, this is all for the GitLab. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll try to clarify them. Any questions? Okay, I'll take it as no. Uh, yeah, that's all for today. Okay, we'll meet tomorrow, and we'll just discuss the final topic for the second week. Like sorry, yeah, the second slide, like uh, the current vulnerabilities, whatever we have from OWASP, and also we'll discuss some of the concepts for the defensive programming. And yeah, then we'll move to the next topics like Spring and Spring Boot. Okay, uh, starting from tomorrow. Okay, thanks all. Yeah, bye everyone.